Hey guys, how's it going? Sorry, I was a little bit late there. How's everyone doing today? Sunday. If you guys want to just let me know, is the audio working? Still haven't found out if it's actually going through the mic here. I think it is, but I can't really be sure. All right. Well, I have a couple exciting things to talk about with the. Okay, thanks, Kevin. I have a couple exciting things to talk about with the channel. And, I want to go over question and answer. Megan's going to come towards the end, I believe, of the live stream. Thank you. The beard was a good move. Thanks. I appreciate it. I'll apologize now. My hair's a little bit crazy. I just got out of the shower. It's pretty warm here in Michigan actually today. So the hair's kind of weird. All right. So like I said, for anyone that's just jumping in now, I have some exciting stuff on the channel. I have some notes here. Megan's coming towards the end, talking about stocks. If you guys have any questions about like Workhorse or anything that I've talked about or personal finance, feel free to throw it out there. I think more people keep on joining, so some of the stuff might be repeats, but we'll just go through it. I think this is probably going to be like a half-hour live stream, maybe a little bit shorter today than the other day. But we'll just see how it goes. If we get more comments, then we'll start going. So does anyone have any questions? Okay. What are my views on Virgin Galactic? So I think Virgin Galactic is really interesting. I think that obviously it's highly speculative, right? So if they're actually able to go into outer space and bring passengers out there, but I think if you invest in it, you have to be ready to lose the money, right? So you have no idea if they're actually going to be able to do what they say they're going to do, but it is an interesting stock to look at. Check out AQB. Oh, Leland, how's it going? Okay, so we're getting some questions here. So check out AXB. So that brings up something interesting. So I have Patreon, right? I really liked the live stream from the other day. I want to do another live stream. The problem is though, last live stream, and I know that we're not as many people as we were last time, but last live stream we had like 250 or 300 people. So when people tell me to check out stocks, I can't really do that. So I actually just yesterday started a new level or new tier on the Patreon where it's the highest tier, but you get like exclusive live streams every 2 weeks. So if there's like one person in there, it's essentially just a one-on-one call then, and then I can look up stocks. The problem is I work a full-time job, so like I haven't looked at a ton of stocks that people ask me about just because I don't have enough time in the day to look at all these different stocks that I haven't heard of. So on that live stream, if there's like one person, if there are two people, it's pretty much just a one-on-one or two-on-one call. As it fills up, I might cap it because that's the whole point of it, is that I can like give more attention to it. How did I get started investing? I got started back my senior year of college. I realized that I didn't want to become a doctor, and I had to figure out how to use my money if I wasn't going to use it efficiently, if I wasn't going to be making $300,000 a year. So I started getting into investing. I read Tony Robbins' Money, Master the Game, and found it super interesting. I had never really heard. I mean, I maybe knew what compound interest was, but I hadn't heard. Okay, a USPS budget. So some people are saying there's no money in the budget. Some people are saying all those funds are already allocated to USPS. Been given a lot of clarification from what I've seen on how much they're spending, let's say on Workhorse. So some people are saying 20 billion, some are saying 8, some are saying 6, 6.3. They haven't really made it clear. Do I think Workhorse might have a small pullback tomorrow? Definitely. I mean, with Workhorse, with any stock, you don't know what it's going to do in the next couple of days. You don't really know what it's going to do at any point, except for maybe the next 3 to 5 years. But yeah, I mean, it could have a pullback. A lot of people wonder if it's too late or if they should wait for a pullback or something to invest. I don't think you should do that. If you like the company, sometimes you might not ever see a pullback. Like the people that wanted to wait when it went up to $18 from $16, it went up 10%. They wanted to wait for a pullback, and they've never seen that. So we've already had a pullback. Some people were waiting at 30 saying that was overpriced. And, I didn't buy at 30. I bought last at like 23. And some people were saying that they wanted a pullback. And then it pulled back to 22 or something, and a lot of people were worried about it. Some people picked up more shares, but some people just freaked out and were like, I'm not touching it now. So I haven't heard if there's any chatter on the USPS contract when it will be awarded. You know, that's kind of a crapshoot. Some people are saying end of the month, some are saying halfway through October, some are saying end of year. View on long term, you know, very risky. Short term, just like any stock, but especially Tesla, because it has gone up a ton this year, right? So maybe 7 or 8 times as high as it was before at the beginning of the year or last year at this time. But I mean, I think it's great long term. They're essentially a tech company that sells cars. What do I think about Plug Power, Eduardo? Nice to see you. I actually talked about Plug Power when it really wasn't on a lot of people's radar. It was like a $3 or $4 stock at that time. It was really one of my first penny stock videos. I only did a couple of them, but I talked about them that had definitely some upside potential. But honestly, since then I haven't looked at too much. I know that went up a lot after I talked about it. Not saying that I can pick great penny stocks or anything like that, but it did go up pretty significantly after that, so that was kind of cool. You bought Workhorse at $24.90. You're hearing all the good news. How much do I think it's going to pop on Monday? So like I said, you never know. With these kinds of stocks, you never know how it's going to do. But there is a lot of positive catalysts on it. There are a lot of YouTubers that talk about it a lot, which honestly probably pushes it up a little bit more because it is a small stock, but you have maybe 20, 25 small YouTubers that are talking about it. I think I saw JJ Buckner just do a video on it for the first time, and he's the biggest person I've seen talk about it. But now it's getting on more people's radars. Do I think the NAT will recover eventually? Maybe. I mean, they have really good earnings. The problem is they're already twice as expensive or so as they were at the beginning of the year. So if they're not being pushed up already when they're having these good earnings, I think that possibly their earnings could go up, but a lot of their earnings are tied to the contango situation. I haven't looked at NAT too much since I sold out like a month ago. But yeah, I think that I've seen it go down after I sold. I do not have any money with Fisker. So I've looked into that a little bit, but not as much as I probably should definitely not as much as I should if I was going to invest. Thoughts on Nioh? It's interesting. I mean, they have good numbers. They're one of the biggest Chinese electric car companies, but I don't know. I'm always anxious about doing that. Obviously, any company anywhere can like commit fraud or have ties to the government. But in China, their companies, their bigger companies have really strong ties to the government. And I never know. I like to invest where I understand the market. I understand how consumers look at different vehicles and how they think about money. And I don't really understand the culture as much over there, so I don't feel as comfortable investing. Yeah, pour in the likes, Rowan says. Please pour in the likes. Let's see if we can get this up a little bit higher. 21 likes. So look up Chinese shorts. It's epic. Nio. I don't know what that is, but I'll look it up later. Juicy Bacon, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, so you're worried about the USPS delaying contract, but you're excited about the hopes of refrigeration drones. I agree. That's what a lot of people are saying long term, that, yeah, even if they don't get the contract, it will kind of suck short term. But long term, they still have all these other things going for them. They're still looking to get into other markets. Their CFO said that pretty much anyone that you can imagine they'd be talking to, they are talking to. So there's just been a lot of news that's coming out recently that's good for them long term. But yeah, definitely short term, if they don't get that, you'll probably see a pullback. What conditions would I sell Workhorse? I would sell, I've thought about this, but honestly, I've thought more about when I'd buy in more. So I'd sell on the upside. I've done a video on that. I'd probably sell if they didn't get the USPS contract. I think they're going to get at least a portion of it, but if they don't get any of it, that's going to be tough. I might look at buying back in. I know that I typically don't say to do that, but with Workhorse, it is propped up a lot, right? And I don't think anyone can say that there isn't some of the contract being priced in right now. Long term, they might be good, but I'd like to reevaluate after they drop because I think they'll probably go to $10 or $12, settle around $10 or $12 if they don't get any of the USPS contract. So I will answer some more questions in a second. First of all, though, I do want to say Julie from JT Wealth, it's her birthday today. So I want to say happy birthday. She's another YouTuber. If you haven't seen JT Wealth, they talk about stocks just like I do. Happy birthday, Julie. Also, if you didn't hear before, I'll tell you the exciting thing. So we're doing live stream now. We have a live stream on Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern time. And we have someone that is somewhat YouTube famous, pretty big on the YouTube scene. That's been really nice to me. He's been a great guy to help teach me about YouTube. Honestly, he started talking to me when I was 20 or 30 subs, when I was looking for some guidance. And it is Jared Morrow. So if you haven't already checked out his videos, it's Jared with an A, Jarrad. He is going to come on and we're going to do a live stream with him. We're going to talk about FIRE, financial independence, retire early. So that will be really fun. I think that will be cool. He's a really nice guy and makes really good videos. Thoughts on energy transport? I have not seen it. I haven't looked at it. I honestly haven't heard about it. Okay. My real estate portfolio. I don't have any real estate yet. I'm looking to buy in the next year, possibly pretty soon, like maybe 2-3 months, but probably, sometime in the next year, definitely. I'm looking at duplexes, but I don't know. There aren't a lot of duplexes around here. If I can get one, that'd be nice. But otherwise, probably a small single family that I can eventually rent out for some cash flow. I'd like to get into more rental real estate. Hyliion is going to fly this week. Let's hope. I have one share of Hyliion, I believe. I bought in. I like to buy in just a small amount and then buy more as I get more comfortable, as I read more about the companies. But with Hyliion, it's so hard for me to know where they're going long term. I think that their technology is pretty cool. Obviously, I haven't tested any of the technology out for Hyliion, any for Workhorse. I've never driven a truck. So, with this kind of stuff, you never know where the technology is going to go, if it's actually great technology. But from what I've read, it's awesome. Selling 25% at $65. Nice. Haley McKenzie, where's Meg? So that's my girlfriend. She's coming at the end of the stream. So she's going to come on for some questions at the end. So definitely stay through for that. Again, I think we're going to be on for maybe about 30 minutes or so, maybe a little bit longer, depending on if more people keep on trickling in. We've been slowly gaining how many people are in here. So if you're new, please hit the like button down there. How many shares of Workhorse do I have? About 52.5 or so. I've been buying more the whole way. So from 16, 18, 20, 22, I've been buying more. I feel comfortable where I am now, though, unless we hear like some enormous news and the stock price stays the same for some reason, like the market doesn't react. I'll probably stick with that amount. It's about 5% of my portfolio, and I feel comfortable with it. I guess it's a little bit less than 5% of my portfolio because it went down a little bit, but it was 5% when it was up at $30 a share. Happy birthday, Julie. Thank you guys. Everyone wish happy birthday to Julie. 275 shares for me, Mike. Nice. Jack Spencer. Yes, so Jack Spencer is doing a live stream. I think he's doing one. I think it's 4 p.m. Eastern time. I was talking with him earlier. He was saying 9 p.m. his time. He's in Ireland. So he's going to do a stream in a couple hours. You guys should definitely check that out. He gets a lot more people than I do. He gets maybe 1,000 people in his live streams, but he's great. You should definitely check him out if you haven't seen him already. Leland didn't know it was her birthday. Yeah, you should definitely tell her happy birthday. You should definitely, you guys should, if you guys, so they're talking about doing a live stream. You should definitely go to one of their videos and tell them to do a live stream. I think that would be cool. Also, they have a Patreon too. So I have a Patreon, but they have a Patreon too. That would be a nice thing to do for someone's birthday. Join their Patreon if you want to hear about what they're buying and when they're buying it, and just talk to them about stocks and stuff. They talk about stocks in theirs too. Yes, I have spoken about Jared before. He's nice. I do think the USPS contract is coming out this week, but you never know with these kinds of things. Like I said, they aren't providing a lot of guidance. I mean, it is a government entity, so you never know how fast they're going to get stuff done. What does Planet 13 have to do to be on the New York Stock Exchange? So there are certain restrictions. I don't know all of them off the top of my head. I know what you have to be in the S&P 500 because Tesla was looking at it recently. They didn't get into it, but they were close to it. But to be on the New York Stock Exchange, I don't know off the top of my head. A lot of the penny stocks aren't on the New York Stock Exchange, but as their share price goes up and as they become bigger, their market cap, I think they'll have a higher likelihood of being traded on the New York Stock Exchange. Why don't I like investing in China stocks? Because of the fact that I don't really understand the economy, the culture over there. I just don't feel comfortable with it. I mean, I'm not investing in a bunch of European stocks either, or other countries, South American stocks. Honestly, I haven't been investing in pretty much anything but U.S. stocks because I understand them. I see them where I am. So I can tell when people are talking about Tesla that they like Tesla. I can tell that, it's a good product. A lot of people like it. With Facebook, I hear Facebook all the time. I can see their profits. I understand how they do business, that kind of thing. I don't know what kind of connections can be made in different governments and how they're distributing and, the culture that's around the products. Thank you, Mitchell. I appreciate it. So Mitchell's been around for a long time. I appreciate Mitchell. Thank you for joining the live stream. I do own Tesla. I bought when people thought that they were severely overvalued. They jumped from this was pre-split. They jumped from $350 a share on up to $800 a share. So they over doubled. And I thought, with stocks like Amazon, with Tesla, you can wait for it to dip. A lot of people want to wait for the dip, but these stocks often trade at their highest points. So they're often at the most expensive price point that they've ever been because they continue to grow. So I decided I'm finally going to bite the bullet, invest, even though it was up over 100% in the last month or two. And since then, I bought again at 880. Once it went up another 10%. And then it went up all the way up to 2,000 or so, 2,200, whatever it did pre-split. And now it's just crazy. It's my best returning stock. I think I'm up 150 or 170% on it in a couple months. So Leland, you're renting a house too? Yeah, it is good passive income. So rental real estate's really nice because there are higher returns, but you have a lot more work. So that's kind of the trade-off, right? If anyone doesn't know that, you have to do a lot more work, but you get paid more. That's why some people prefer stocks and some prefer real estate. You can also leverage a lot better too. Obviously, we have really low interest rates right now. I live in West Michigan. So yeah, so we're up in Michigan here, really close to the water, so it's nice. You hope to see content on real estate? Yeah, so I might do that. I probably will. I'll probably do a couple of videos, but from everything I've seen on YouTube, not too many people like it. So not too many people watch real estate videos. And the people that do, there are a couple really big YouTubers like Bigger Pockets that have teams of people that do this. So it's hard to get a lot of traction, I think, with real estate videos. But, I think I have a pretty loyal following, so they'll probably watch too. So I'll probably do some. How many different shares do I have in my portfolio? So shares, I don't know. Different stocks, though, I have maybe 20-ish. My view on Lordstown. So I think they're a good company. I think if they're first to market with their pickup trucks, that would be awesome. The problem is if they're not first to market, they are small. A lot of people don't really realize with all these EV companies that are being pumped up that the traditional companies have a lot more firepower. They have a lot more distribution. They have a lot more manufacturing. They have their name brand. They already are going to be covered in so many mainstream outlets, news outlets, and media outlets. If they come out with a good product, it's going to be a lot easier for them to sell. And if there's a bigger and bigger market for this kind of thing, they can just shove money at it, right? So something like Ford, GM, Chrysler, Fiat, Toyota, they all have billions of dollars that they can eventually throw at this. And they're going to be really good competitors for smaller companies like Lordstown. So Lordstown has to be early to market, I think. Happy birthday So it's happy birthday to JT, Julie from JT. If I could only own one stock, that's tough. So I read an article the other day about like different portfolio managers and if they could only own 3 stocks. I'm going to change it. If I could only own 2 stocks, I'm pretty conservative. So I do Berkshire Hathaway. I know a lot, Warren Buffett gets a lot of hate, but Warren Buffett has created a great portfolio there. They focus on earning cash flow. So they earn a good amount of net income every year and it continuously increases. So I'd have them to hold down the portfolio. And then I would have Facebook. Facebook grows at 30% a year, 20 to 30%, and they're still massive. They're still creating new lines of new streams of income between, let's say, Facebook Reels, which I haven't looked too much into, but they're new. And then they also have their new e-commerce part of their website too. So I'm backed up a little bit here. So stay with me here. I apologize. I think I take too much time on these questions. So again, if you've been watching since the beginning, thank you. But if you've been in newer, if you've come in a little bit later, I was talking about this earlier. It's great to have these live streams, but I can't talk too specifically about different things that you have questions on. I can't really get into depth. So I did start a new level of my Patreon where it's the highest level, but if there's only one person in there, I'm doing live streams to that group. So if there's one person that's in my Patreon that wants me to look at their portfolio or something and give them an honest review, obviously I'm not a financial advisor, so I cannot tell you whether to sell or buy a stock or anything like that. But I would say that if you want that, it's going to be like a one-on-one call if only one person's in it. So as it grows, it'll be less like that. But at first, it's going to be like one-on-one calls, 2-on-1 calls, and that kind of thing. And it's going to be 2 half-an-hour live streams each month. Okay, I have not looked at UAVS. Initially bought 480 shares of Workhorse. Nice. So you bought at $22 a share. So are you in a risky position, Kevin? It depends on your portfolio. It depends on your risk tolerance. If you're someone that likes to go bet on black and your whole portfolio is Workhorse, then maybe it's not risky for you. I mean, your money's at risk, but it's at risk anywhere. It's just a question of what you're comfortable with. If you have $10 million, or let's say $1 million, that's probably more realistic, and you have $10,000 in Workhorse, that's not that risky, honestly. Thoughts on XL Fleet? There's not a ton of information on it. They have a lot of products. I just hope that they can deliver and make their fully electric vehicles soon, because right now I think it's all hybrids. You're at 100% growth in your account. Nice. Workhorse will help me diversify and start a YouTube trading channel. Nice. So there's a lot of room for traders in YouTube. So people that like to trade stocks do really well on YouTube, at least the ones that I've seen, if you put in a good consistent effort and you know what you're talking about. I don't trade though. I just buy and hold long-term mostly. There are a couple ones that I've held for a couple months, but that's it. And that's just because their long-term prospects have changed. Should you hold until Friday with your call? I don't do any, or with your call. I don't do any options trading, so I am not a good person to talk to about that. Okay. Will I buy any stocks before elections? Yes, I am buying stocks the whole time. I'm not basing my long-term investments off the elections. I don't try to base a lot of information on the short term. I think that I'm not going to be plowing every penny that I have in stocks, but I'll just be investing like always. And then if the stock market goes down afterwards, I will be very excited because I am very young and can invest way more money. If the stock market goes down, I can throw in more money. How do I get involved in the stock market? Well, I said this earlier, but I realized that when I came out of college, I went from a very high-paying job, what I thought I was going to get, to a lower-paying job, and I realized I had to learn about the stock market to make up for that. Thoughts on Intel? So I think they are an interesting company. So they, if I remember right, because it's hard to remember all the different stocks and all the different news that has come out months ago, but they dipped down pretty heavily on some news about some of their chips. But I could be totally wrong. This could be a different company, but I think this is Intel. Like I said, it was from months ago, but I didn't know how it would affect them long term. So I haven't looked into them too much since then. What are 3 great growth stocks to look out for in October? Workhorse, because they might get that USPS contract. And actually, I'm doing a video here probably in the next day, maybe 2 days, on the highest risk, high reward stock. So I was going to do it the other day. Jack Spencer actually did a video on the top growth stocks, and I was planning mine before that. I didn't know he was coming out with that, but then I did one on Workhorse instead, and then had one today earlier about something else. I would say Planet 13, Workhorse, Facebook. They're still down to 250. They're a much bigger company, but kind of like at 300 million, 3 billion, and then $700 billion. I will not sell any shares before elections because of taxes and because I don't really like to sell. My views on oil, I think they provide great dividends short term, but long term, I think that's going to continue to decline. Yeah, so Lordstown does have $2 billion in pre-orders. Pretty impressive. Julie, yes, you're welcome. Happy birthday. Thanks for coming in the chat. Yeah, everyone's wishing her happy birthday. That's very nice. No fast hands here, Ellie. Nice. Diamond hands. Okay, Workhorse, let's go. What are my thoughts? Load up tomorrow? Maybe. I mean, it depends. Do you like Workhorse? If you haven't bought enough, then I would go buy it because you never know what's going to happen. They could announce a contract in 2 days and you'd be pissed at yourself. If I had to pick one traditional car dealership, what would you pick and why? Ooh, by traditional, I'm assuming you mean non-foreign, I'm assuming, and then probably non-Tesla. I don't know. So maybe just American made. Probably like a Cadillac dealership. If I'm not doing like high-end cars or something, I like Cadillacs. I had a Cadillac for a little bit, and I like them. They're nice cars. What do I think about space stock? So Virgin Galactic, they are interesting. I talked about them earlier, but they're a company that's high risk, high reward, but what they're trying to do is so cool. Okay. All right, so we have some more questions. I think Megan might be ready to come on. Do you guys want Megan on? I'm going to scroll down to the bottom so I can see. Okay, I will answer your questions in a second. Megan's going to come on, my girlfriend. I said that she was going to come on, but then something came up, so she had to come in a little bit later. But I'm going to move the chair over. I had the whole setup ready. So Megan's helping me with a couple different things. Yes, Haley McKenzie, Leland, yeah, Megan's on. We have to pull her in. All right. So I've been wanting to get Megan on for a while, but I thought this would be a fun way of including her. And then, people have a lot of questions for me and for Megan because we haven't done a video with Megan since the beginning. So like when I had maybe 1,000 subscribers, 500 or something. Yes. So yeah, Haley McKenzie is actually my sister in case you want her on sometime. She's going to be home for the next 10 days. Oh, and we have more people on now that Megan's on. We have like 10% more.
I feel like I'm
Jack, what's up?
Close to the mic.
Yeah, you are.
I'm probably getting all my breathing.
Yeah. Jack's in the chat. Woo! Yeah, big happy birthday to Julie. All right. Now we're getting more comments. Okay. Does anyone have questions for Megan? I'll definitely answer questions in a second. Yes. How did I manage to get her? You're right. I've been asking myself that for years.
Oh, stop.
We actually met in a basement bar.
We did. We met at Michigan State because that's where we both went to college. And it's funny because I only live like 20 minutes away from where Sam has lived his whole life. And it took us moving to Michigan State to finally meet each other. So it's kind of funny how things work out.
Yep. So, okay. What? I got lost.
Does he bore you with all of his stock talk, or are you just as interested? I'm not quite as interested. My brain doesn't work in quite as calculated fashion as Sam's does. He doesn't bore me. I think if he's passionate and enthusiastic about things, then it's interesting to me just because he's so animated. But I don't do a whole lot of my own research, but every now and then I can pick up on what he's talking about just because of exposure.
Yeah. So that's kind of the reason I started the YouTube channel in the first place, is because I was talking to Megan about finance, my parents about finance, my sister, my friends, and I was having the same conversation like 10 times. And I was like, okay, none of these people really care that much. And I have to repeat myself too much. I should just put it on the internet instead. And then I just didn't do very well until like a couple months ago. I just threw out whatever I was thinking on the internet. So definitely go check out some of those early videos. It's kind of embarrassing. All right. Do I see the USPS contract being announced this week? Possibly. Again, they haven't given much indication for when they would actually announce that. Did you hear about that, Meg? California, the governor for California said that they want to go all electric by 2035.
Wow, no, I didn't hear.
Yeah.
I did not hear that.
But some people are saying that it's just for his reelection. So we'll see if it actually goes through. It has to go, I think, through Congress or the Supreme Court or something. She would know more than I would about that because she works more in the legal system. I don't really know too much about that. Okay, what about traditional vehicle manufacturers? What about them? Will Workhorse get the USPS contract by Tuesday? Who knows? Yeah, so Meg is big into politics. Trump and Biden are having a debate in Ohio. Did you know that Trump needs Ohio to win the election?
Well, I think there's quite a few swing states.
Yeah,
but
yeah. So everyone's talking about that. Workhorse, you've obviously heard about them from me.
Yep.
Lordstown Motors is another company that is related to Workhorse. They bought a plant from GM that's in Ohio. Trump has publicly tweeted congratulations to their company like a year ago. And so many people are thinking that they're going to announce that Workhorse got the USPS contract because Trump is all into the USPS thing too. They think that he's going to use that as part of his debate to pump people up in Ohio and get that swing state. So it could happen, but who knows? I don't think he really has too much control over the contract unless he's been doing something dirty to be able to announce that or something. Okay, sorry, I got stuck way up there. Yeah, so I think the USPS contract will be announced in the next couple weeks, but I don't know. Megan, do you feel comfortable answering this?
With what I do? Yeah. I'm actually a paralegal for a collections firm. I went to school. I was a pre-law student, and then I joined Pre-Law Society and spoke with all the attorneys I knew and decided that becoming an attorney just wasn't quite for me. I wasn't interested in paying a bunch of money for law school since I paid my own way through undergrad. So I decided to spend a year doing paralegal work and, make sure that my decision was right for me. And I think it is. I don't know if I want to stay in the legal system forever. It is kind of a mentally draining position to be in. However, I do still think it's important to talk to other people about that decision and career moves and things like that. So no decisions are currently being made. But
yeah. So Megan was planning to be a lawyer. I was planning to be a doctor. Neither of them happened. So thank you guys for watching our YouTube. Leland, I would be happy to do that. If I can make enough money, that would be awesome. If I can support the family. No Republican has ever won the presidency without Ohio. Interesting. I'm not too big into politics. I'm just in it. I care about what happens in the world, but a lot of the time you don't see what actually happens from presidencies. I feel like directly it happens after they're done. A lot of the stuff gets enforced. So I don't know. I haven't been big into politics until the last year or so, and that's mostly due to the stock market and stuff. Hello, Sam and Megan. Thank you. So yeah. I think by the end of the calendar year, we're talking about the government here. Yep, nothing is ever on time. I've worked with the government on a couple different things, and it's just amazing how long it takes. I know, you have the stuff at the DMV that takes a long time, but anything that's more official takes a long time.
Will you guys create a couple channel? I keep joking about this. I want Sam to become a huge YouTube channel so that I can start vlogging our life together. I think we're personally hilarious. I think that I think other people would enjoy watching what we do on a regular basis. So I keep saying that we should try vlogging and see what we can come up with. Yeah,
I think that'd be fun too. I've been pushing her, probably pushing too much, for her to start her own channel too, and just put it out there more on the stuff that she's interested in. But I think that'd be cool. What was our favorite date so far?
Oh, I have
Probably
a good
something
one.
eating.
All of our dates involve food, but my favorite date so far was when we very first started dating at Michigan State. Sam invited me over and he put all of the toppings on the table to make our own pizzas, and it was so cute. And he got a bunch of different beer for us to try, and it was kind of like a pizza and beer night, but it was all very set up and thoughtful and very sweet.
And financially responsible by doing it at home.
Yeah. Good way to work that in.
What do I think about Virgin Galactic? Have you heard about Virgin Galactic? They're trying to bring people to space and make it, I think I told you about once, commercialized flight travel.
Like
so
$200,000 to be launched into space.
Yeah, if you are part of the 1% or 1% of 1%, you can go out for $250,000 and enjoy space. So I think that's interesting. I think if they can do it, they're going to make boatloads of money. The question is, can they actually do that? And how long will it take, I guess? We're from West Michigan. Thoughts on Hyliion stock, price target post-merger? I think it's pretty good. I think that it's hard to put a price target on it just because it's highly speculative. So I'm not sure. Okay. What about Meet Kevin? I like him, but okay. ARK Invest bought more Workhorse. Yes, I saw that. I saw that they bought more stock. They bought like 60 or 80,000 shares or something. What are views on stimulus check?
What are my views on it?
Yeah.
I mean, I think that we could definitely use more stimulus. I know some people by us are back to work. Some are still working from home, and some have been working really hard to find new jobs. However, I do think our small businesses could use a little boost, and the people around us could use a little boost to help bump up the economy, and especially locally.
Yeah. Okay.
How many shares of Workhorse do I have? I have 0 shares. I don't do a lot of investing because I do focus mostly on paying off my student loans, and pretty much all of my extra income goes towards my student loans.
Do I think Workhorse will have a major pullback after the announcement? I think it depends on how much they actually get. So if they get 25%, I think that's kind of where they'll maybe jump up a tiny bit. If they get 50% or more, or if they get more than 25%, I think they'll go up. If they get less than 25%, I think they'll probably go down a little bit. You tried to get a girl to come over so you could sign her up for a WeBull. Yeah, I don't think she'd know what you're talking about. I think she would probably think you were lying to her about that, like catfishing her or something. Regarding the USPS and Workhorse, don't forget that Trump when. Yeah, you never know. Yep. BlackBerry stock. I haven't heard of anyone buying that.
No, I haven't heard of a BlackBerry breakthrough since I was in middle school.
Yeah. Oh, nice to have you. Thank you for joining the chat. When or if do you think the next stimulus could get passed? I never know. I mean, I was watching stimulus stuff for up until maybe June or July, and then I just stopped because there's always new stuff and nothing was ever happening. So I have no idea. Okay, Megan, do you think you could? What do you think? What do you think about student loan cancellation?
I think
just put her on the spot.
I think anyone with student loan debt definitely likes the idea of loan cancellation. It would take a big burden off the backs of our young people in America, but I'm not sure. A lot of people think that someday it's going to happen, and a lot of people fight against it. You know, people said that Trump wouldn't have enough money to build the wall, and the same people said Bernie Sanders would never have enough money to do student loan cancellation. So I really think it's just all in the timeline.
Yeah. So, yeah, someone's going to have to pay for it, but that's kind of the same thing with the stimulus, right? So we'll be paying for it later, eventually. It's just a question of when. So Elijah, thank you. I'm glad that you like it. What do we think about? I have not looked at the SPAC, by the way, TRNE, too much. I've seen people talk about it, but I haven't looked into it. What do I think about the volatility before the elections? I don't really know. So I haven't been investing when there were elections, but if the stock market goes down, I'll just try to take advantage of it.
Favorite brewery in the area? Man,
Founders.
I do. Founders beer is really good. However, I really love New Holland Brewery. I personally can't get enough Dragon's Milk and all the variations they do on it. I don't think I've ever had one that I couldn't finish my glass.
Yeah. If you guys haven't been to Michigan before, we were rated the city near us was rated the beer capital of the US or of the world or something a while ago.
Beer City, USA.
Yeah, so we have a ton of breweries here. Like I think more than just about anywhere. You can go to any city and there's probably 1 or 2 breweries there, and the bigger cities have more.
Yeah, big ones, small ones.
Yeah. 31,000 in Workhorse. That's a lot. Nice. Any personal finance tips? Doctor of Credit. Yeah, so what's EG mean?
Where are you reading that?
EG, Doctor of Credit.
Oh, example, basically.
Doctor of Credit. So I like Doctor of Credit for bank account bonuses. That's why I use P. Chavez if you are talking about that. Any personal finance tips though? I'd say go check out Mr. Money Mustache. So I'm doing a video on him this week, but basically just try to save as much of your money and invest it as possible. You can pretty much tell based on the market averages and how much you spend and how much you make when you'll be able to retire. And I know that sounds crazy, but if you save 50% and you make $1 million, or if you save 50% and you make $100,000, you'll retire at the same time if you're using that same amount of money after retirement. So you can tell everything based on how much you save and how much you invest and how much you spend, as opposed to how much you actually make. Yes, our children's children will probably be paying for it in some way or another.
That's true on everything.
Yeah. Yeah, Zach, I'll take a look at them. I'll take a look at BlackBerry and see what they're bringing in. 157% up with the portfolio from Workhorse. Nice. Casey, what's up? Jailkeeper. Jailkeeper's in our Patreon too. Thoughts on free college? So I think we kind of talked about that with Bernie a little bit.
Yeah, I think we've seen it work in other countries, and I think it's not a bad idea just because I don't want other people to be in the same position that I started off. My life as an individual was started off in a hole, basically, and I think it's a good idea to let young people start off on the right foot, but I know not everyone is for that, and it would mean a lot of changes in our society. So, yeah, it's just up in the air.
Do you think Ford has any chance of getting out of bankruptcy? So I haven't looked into Ford stock too much. They're not innovative. They've been pretty much, if I remember right, just around the same stock price for a while. They just don't really bring much to the table in my eyes. Do you think you'll be dealing with a lot of bankruptcies and foreclosures? Keep up the good work. Thank you. Okay, so before I go any further, or before we answer any more questions, Megan is helping me with something right now, by the way, in case you guys are curious. So at 10,000 subscribers, you can put a little banner for merch underneath, and we're doing that. So she's doing all the graphic design for it. And it's really interesting. We've been working back and forth on it a little bit, talking about what we want to have. And I don't want to do anything that's specific to my channel, because who cares really? Who wants a My Financial Friend t-shirt with this face on it? No one. So we're doing Financial Independence Retire Early kind of merch, and it's going to be really cool. I know that this is probably a little bit biased, but if it wasn't me and I saw someone wearing this, I would be very interested in it because it's really cool. And Financial Independence Retire Early, or financial independence, at least not from your parents or anything, but financial independence where your stocks and your investments pay for your life, and your cost of living is really the goal, right? So you can make money with a job, but if you can be free of that, that's really the goal. So I think it's going to be cool. Yes, Leland, merch. What do I think about Shell this week? I have some Shell, but I don't know what it'll do this week. No one ever really knows what it's going to do day to day. I think you should do a video on potential penny stocks with the most potential growth. Yeah, so Casey, I was planning on doing that actually in the next day or two. That I was going to do like the top high growth, high risk stocks, and there are going to be 6 of them. So some of them I've never talked about before, I believe. Some I've talked about a lot. Some I haven't talked about in months. One's actually a dividend stock too. So it's going to be a cool video. I think people are going to like it. What are our celebrity free passes? We're not talking about that. How much of the contract do I think that will be outsourced? So I think you're talking about whether they do their own manufacturing. I think Lordstown's going to help them a lot with that. August, awesome. I appreciate it. I have not seen ABT Nano X imaging. SPAC shirts. that would be funny. SPAC 2020. Leland, thank you.
Oh, thanks.
I appreciate it. Yeah, SPAC shirts would be interesting. So I
don't know what that is personally.
Special purpose acquisition company. So a lot of the companies that are really popular right now are these companies that are just taking over private companies or buying part of them. And they get a lot of hype, so the stock price jumps up drastically. But it's essentially a bunch of billionaires just creating companies and like asking for investors to buy into them when they don't even know what they're going to buy yet with their company. So then they buy out a small company, like a lot of EV companies, electric vehicle companies are being bought this way. Stay away from Genus. So Genus has had a couple good days recently. I've heard some interesting things on Genus, but I don't know. I've done a lot of videos about them in the past. What EV, you would love to know my EV stocks. I've not looked into lithium that much. I've looked into battery technology too, but I don't understand it completely. I mean, I took multiple years of physics and chemistry and all that, and I still don't understand really how these batteries work and how they're better than others. I could invest in it, but I usually invest in things I understand. Yeah, so if Workhorse gets part of the contract forward, we'll probably get some of the other, yeah. Price of the year, 2020. Yeah, so it's something about graphene being better, more efficient. Casey, you lost on Genus. Yeah, I never bought into Genus. I thought about it, but they seem too hyped up, and there's just some different stuff. I forgot exactly what it was, but I made a good amount of videos on it. Okay. So we'll probably wrap up here in a couple minutes. Do you guys have any more questions? Thank you again, Leland. By the way, I want to say thank you again. A couple beers for us. That's very nice. So if you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'm trying to think. I put down some different things to talk about. Yeah. So just a reminder, Jack is on live stream in an hour and a half. He stopped by here. So if he's still here, thank you. But otherwise, you can definitely check him out. He'll probably be talking a little bit more about the stock market. You should definitely go on his, though, and tell him that he has to bring on his girlfriend because it's a nerve-wracking thing. But he's barely ever talked about his girlfriend. I think his girlfriend should come on. ChargePoint's interesting, but I don't know. I think some of these companies will probably bring in their own charging if they can afford to, just to save money and create another potential revenue stream. Okay. Yeah, Amazon purchasing Workhorse, maybe. I did not quit my banking job yet, so I am still a personal banker. I've been talking about that with my family over the last couple of days. You know, if we keep on growing, it's going to be a lot easier, obviously. If we double or triple in size and I make double or triple the money, then definitely it's going to be easier to quit my day job. It'll make me feel like I really don't want to spend the time there as much. I'm not a SPAC promoter. Thank you guys. Have a good one. Thank you. Nice to have you on. Planet 13 has not been doing well for me the last couple of weeks. So I have some money in Planet 13, but I'm holding them over the long term. I think I'm still up on the stock overall. But, overall, it's a long-term play, right? So they've gone up a lot. They're going to come down probably a little bit too for a correction. How do you find the time to work in YouTube and research stocks and hang out with Megan too and hang out with family? I stay up late. I've been getting, honestly, a lot less sleep, maybe like 6 or 7 hours instead of my normal 8. And I just have been watching a lot less Netflix and watching a lot less YouTube. Yeah, so we might have a coffee cup. We've talked about that.
Yeah, we have talked about the different pieces that we're interested in having, and then just tweaking the designs a little bit to fit on the different forms.
The website that we're using is one that a lot of YouTubers use, Teespring, and I don't think they have a beer glass, but I wanted a beer glass too. I think that would be sweet. So maybe they'll put one on there. If Workhorse goes to $100, where will I take Megan? Wherever she wants to go. Honestly, we could pay for any meal with that. It would be thousands of dollars, so that would be nice. I think I would make like $5,000 or something because I have $1,500 in the stock or $1,100 now. Okay. Embarrassing story of Sam. There are tons of them.
I can't think of a single one. When people ask questions like this, I get put on the spot and I can't think of anything. Overall, Sam is actually a really goofy and funny guy. I think we're really funny, but I don't know if it's quite embarrassing.
It would be embarrassing if you saw it. You'd stop watching. My family says that I should dance more on camera, but I'm not doing that. No one wants to see that in here. You're not coming for the dance moves.
Does he say nerdy things that make you laugh? Absolutely. He says a lot of things that make me laugh. I think that's why I like him so much. He said, what was that one thing? He was talking about soup in a can. Was it jambalaya or
gumbo?
Gumbo. Yes, he was trying to sell me on like this can of gumbo when we went to the grocery store one time. Yeah, Campbell's gumbo. And I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm interested in having that for dinner. And he's like, okay, well, I'm just saying if you're in a pinch and you need some gumbo. And I still, whenever I think about that, I can't stop laughing because it was just rolled right off his tongue like it was nothing. And I was like, who says that really?
What made me get into stocks? I said this a couple times, but obviously people are filtering in and out. I thought I was going to make a ton of money. Then the job that I was going to get, I didn't want to study for. So then I invested my time into learning about stocks, and then I started investing in stocks. Redbubble merch too. Yeah, I might look that up. I haven't looked into them, but I just know a lot of people use Teespring. I really like them too, from what I can tell. We've been together 2.5 years. Okay.
Who does the most cooking?
I do. She comes over here and I cook like breakfast and stuff.
But
and
sometimes
sandwiches.
If we make a nice dinner, we'll make it together.
Yeah.
But Sam makes a way better sandwich than I do, and I don't even eat sandwiches, but when Sam makes sandwiches, I love them.
Yep. What do you think about Nioh? I don't like investing in Chinese companies just because I don't understand the culture. I don't understand the consumers. I know what's happening here. I know how people think about different companies and how they like to spend their money, what they're looking for over in China, because I think it's only in China, honestly, what they're selling. I don't know anything about their culture. I've never been there. I've known a couple people that are from China, but I have never been over there. I don't understand it completely. Informed traders, thank you. Yes. You shout out to informed traders. I think you have a YouTube channel too, I think, right? Or trades, sorry. I think he has a YouTube channel too. But I don't watch too many trading channels just because I'm a long-term investor. Hey, that's a good way to promote channel. Donate $1 or $2, Green power, I've looked into a little bit, but I don't know. I don't imagine a bunch of a bunch of school districts going all electric. I don't know. Maybe they will, but I don't know. I looked into it, and there's some reason why I didn't like it long term. We are not. We're kind of in the same political party. Megan leans more left. I started more right. Now I'm more middle. Fiscally, I think I'm more right. Like socially, I'm more left. Honestly. I mean, I don't love paying taxes like most people, but I am willing if I think that what it's for is the right thing. Oh, Leland, you like informed trades? Nice. All right. So I think we're going to wrap it up. Thank you guys for watching. I mean, we're just under an hour now, but definitely a fun live stream. Again, if you guys didn't hear earlier, first of all, you guys should thank Megan for coming on. This isn't the easiest thing to do. I mean, she's been in one video and then she's answering live questions. You can't delete anything from this. So either we put it up or we cancel it. So yeah. So yes, thank you at Leland. But yeah, so thank her. We are doing another live stream later this week with Jared Morrow. So I talked about that earlier, but if you weren't on then, he's a great YouTuber. You should check him out. He's pretty big too. He's like 50,000 subscribers, and he does a lot on FIRE. If financial independence, retire early. Oh, a lot of people like informed trades. Nice. Maybe I will have to start watching more. Again, I just don't have a lot of time. After you start making YouTube videos, you don't have as much time to watch YouTube videos. And usually if it has like traders in the name or trades or something, I don't watch as much just because I don't day trade or swing trade. Nice. All right. Well, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. If you guys don't mind hitting the like button and subscribing, hit the like button for Megan. Also, if you guys want, like I said earlier, there's a new tier of Patreon that's like exclusive live streams. It's just like, it might be one-on-one calls, honestly, if only one person signs up. So definitely check that out if you want it. There's a link down in the description. Otherwise, yeah, Leland. Thank you guys. Gives you more time. Yeah. So thank you guys. If you have any questions, we've answered a lot. So you might want to like look back through if we haven't answered it. We probably answered it at some point, different stocks or what Megan does or how I started investing, all that kind of stuff. Thank you guys. And we'll see you in the next maybe live stream. Who knows? Bye.